again with another footy talk. And yeah, we got a debut on the channel. What's going on? Talks Spurs is in the house.
How we doing, man? You good?
I'm sweet, brother. I'm always good, man. How you doing, man? You lot have had a decent start to the season, so you're doing better than me.
Yeah, it's not been bad. It's not been bad. Spurs, we always tend to start seasons well, so not getting carried away, but yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Nice, sweet. And big up everyone also about that comment about doing a call-in show for Christmas. Twitch are launching a new integration, a specialist integration for call-ins, and I'm the only influencer in Europe that has access to it. So I actually do have it. So I'm gonna start doing a call-in show soon, but I need to get Dave to sort out the software. But I have it. So it's a brand new integration on the app that hasn't been launched in Europe yet, and I'm gonna launch it. So it's coming soon, man. But what are you saying about your start to the season? Because, for instance, the first game, great result. Second game against Chelsea, extremely lucky to leave with a point. You can look at it two ways. You can look at it as the old Spurs would have lost that game and they showed good mentality to get something out. Or you could just see it as you got lucky because Chelsea absolutely played you off the park for, I'd say, the majority of the game. And then yesterday, the game wasn't great either, but you got the 1-0.
Yeah, listen, spot on. I don't think we've particularly played well in any of the games. Southampton, look, I fear for them this year. I do. I fear that they might be in a relegation battle. So I thought that we would come away from that with 4 goals. Chelsea, you're right, played us off the park, gave us a bit of a footballing lesson, if I'm really, really honest. And look, the fact that they didn't have a goal scorer was the reason why we managed to get a draw. Our fans, in true Spurs fashion, went well overboard, like it was a win, like we won the Champions League. And yeah, Wolves again. Wolves played some great football. Ruben Neves just sort of kept the game ticking over for them. And again, another team that struggled to score goals, and we got there in the end. But look, not great performances. Would I have taken 7 points from 9? Yeah, definitely with Chelsea away in there.
100%. And that's what I mean. I think at the start of the season, I think it's very important to just you just have to take the start of the season for what it is. That's all you can really do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, same with us. We've lost our first 2 games. But Liverpool have drawn their first 2 games. We've got Liverpool tonight. If we beat Liverpool tonight, we're ahead of Liverpool in the table. And all of a sudden, everything everyone was crying about last week, all of a sudden doesn't look so bad. And you can flip it and have a good start to the season. But again, even if you win your first 3 games of the season, it really doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of the rest of the season. There's still over 100 points to play for. So I feel like you can't really get too carried away either which way.
Yeah, look, it's football fans, right? We love doing this knee-jerk stuff. We love it, you know. And look, I've been here with Spurs many times before, my friend. Do you know what I mean? I've seen we were top under Mourinho. We were top this time last year. We had 3 wins from 3 with Nuno, whilst playing some of the worst football I think I've ever seen from Spurs. Look, Arsenal have just won their first 3. But look, you've got to. I think with everything, you get 10 games in, you start seeing the patterns of who's where they're going to be, right? I think after the first 10 games, I think you'll start to see the top 5 is going to be the top 5 from last year. I think Liverpool will find their form. Chelsea will get into a role. And that's more of an indicator for me as to where teams are. But after 3 games, you know, how much can you really know, right? Because it's so early in the season, so early.
Absolutely. And in terms of your transfer business, how are you feeling about that? Like, I was watching a Tottenham game and it was weird. I'm seeing Perisic, Basuma and Richarlison coming off the bench. And I'm like, Tottenham have not had this depth in a very long time.
Do you know what? I feel the flip to that. Let me just flip that, if that's all right, a little bit. For me, I think the problem is I want to see Basuma and Perisic start. Right, they're so much stronger than the players in front of them already, and I think once we get to that stage, then I worry again that the bench isn't that strong. And what I mean by that is we've got a lot of players, but I don't know if there's any real quality. Let's assume Basuma starts, assume Perisic starts. other than Richarlison coming off the bench, I don't look at anyone and think, yeah, you're a game changer. You know what I mean? No one's going to come on and grab a goal. No one's going to come on and provide creativity other than Richarlison. You know, and then at the end of the day, the funny thing about it, right, is Spurs fans were, oh my God, Richarlison, this guy's great. Brazil's number 10. Or sorry, Brazil's number 9. And yet if you suggest, right, well, maybe we rotate him in the next game for Son or for Kane or for... No, we can't do that. No, you can't. So, you know, it different ways of looking at it, right? From different people's eyes.
Yeah, if you've got a player like that, you do want to rotate him in and out. And to be fair, like even growing up as a United fan, even when we in our treble winning days, we didn't play York and Cole up front every week. We didn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was Cole and Sheringham. Sometimes it was Cole and Solskjaer. Sometimes it was York and Sheringham. Do you know what I mean? Like you do have to mix it up. Like the Son, Kulu, Kane thing every single week. If you've got someone like Richarlison, there has to be days where you rotate him in. You would think. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you have to see what the different combinations work like. And also, if you don't do it, what happens if you get an injury? Then you don't know how it's going to work.
Do you know what it is? Within the Tottenham faithful, look, and for those of your followers and everyone in the chat, hello to all you who don't know who I am. I'm not a biased Spurs fan, right? And we've talked about this before, Rants, right? This is one of them things that if you are not 100% biased, you get called toxic and negative. But look,
yeah.
You know, the way I look at it is this: is if you are bringing in a 60 million pound striker, right, and then the fans are saying, no, this guy can't start, then I worry. What was the point of signing him? Now, I look at it like this. For years, Spurs have had we've had no competition for places up top. It was Kane, Son, and it was always a Bergwijn or a Mora, you know, someone like that. Then you bring in Kulusevski and you've got that free. And you're like, okay, this is a good front three. It's a very good front three. Now you're bringing in Richarlison. The whole point of that to me is you say, okay, all right, Son, you know, you've not played really well the last couple of games. Come and sit on the bench for half a game. And then when I put you on, I want to see you raise your game because this guy wants to start. But if you say that in the Spurs, community, it's, oh my God, you can't drop him, you can't do this. So it's, you know, it's strange. It's just people getting too sentimental, about players.
No, 100%. And Son hasn't been good lately. Do you think that he's the one that maybe should sit down? The one thing I've said about Heung-min Son, yeah, he's a purple patch player, innit? It's like when Son's playing well, everyone talks about him as one of the best wide players in the game. But when he's not playing well, he absolutely stinks. And it's one of those things where, like, how do you stand as a Spurs fan? Because it's weird because he's a good player. He comes with his own following as well. So I feel like Spurs fans are reluctant to criticize him when he's not playing well.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Look, you know, it's that kind of tribalism mentality, right? So if you just point out the Son's not been playing well, the grief you get, like especially as a YouTuber, right? If I go onto my show and go, yeah, Son wasn't great today. Oh my God, you're not a real fan. Don't you know what this man's done for us? And it's like, okay, but if you want to raise your game, if Spurs want to start playing and competing with the big boys, which is surely the whole point of the stadium and Conte and Champions League, then you've got to have players being pushed for their places. And these players have to know, all right, I've not played well. That guy can take my place. And I'm not saying permanently, but what's wrong? You've got Nottingham Forest away next week. What's wrong with saying to Kulusevski or Son or whatever, right? You know, you're gonna sit on the bench just for half a game. I'm gonna rotate you out. But to get round to your question, sorry, I'm a bit long-winded. Look, I feel like Heung-min Son is devastating when he's through on goal.
Yeah. When
he's not got any time to think, when he's through on goal and he gets in behind defenses, he's devastating. When he's not doing that, his general link-up play isn't the best. And I know Spurs fans, if there's any in your chat, they won't want to hear that. But
there's a few in here, man. They said that it's refreshing to have a Spurs fan on because I don't normally have a Spurs fan on, unless it's my brother. But also, like, yeah, there's loads of Spurs fans in here. So,
Well, look, and do you know what? Listen, I'm going to put the cat amongst the pigeons here for you, Rants. I've been famously saying for years that, look, I think Heung-min Son's a quality player. But when people talk to me about world class, my expectations of world class players were the likes of Van Nistelrooy, Romario, Stoichkov, Ronaldinho. Right, you know, could go on and on and on. For me, Son is just that level below.
Agreed.
For me, sorry,
Agreed.
That gets me in a lot of trouble. That comment. So
no, you're right. But what is world class today compared to what used to be world class when we grew up watching football is different, and this is why, like, you're gonna get a lot of heat for that. Because for me, like, you have to have certain qualities to be in the top bracket, and that's why I feel like now I have to differentiate it. I have a world class level and I have an elite level. An elite level is the top of the game. Elite is Neymar and Messi and them guys. These are the elite. Ronaldinho's would be the elite. World class. Son can be world class, but he's not elite. He's not at the top of the tree. But in the modern game, there's not many players in that elite bracket anymore, unfortunately.
I agree with you. I mean, we were talking the other day on my show about like, if you take away the top 5 strikers in world football,
and they're all old, by the way.
Yeah. Where have all the strikers gone?
Where have they gone? If you take Messi out, if you take Neymar out, who's not really a striker, if you take Lewandowski and Benzema out, like
Haaland,
just Haaland, and that's it. Haaland and Kane are like, that's the cream of the crop there. Like, there's no one else.
Yeah, there's a real lack of depth in strikers out there. But look, I you know what it's like. I think a lot of people, they want their own players to be world class. Look, I'm not saying, listen, I love Son. Son's one of the first names on the team sheet from a Spurs perspective. But it's okay to say, you know what, he's not playing well. It's okay to say that, right? And he started the season poorly. He started the season really poorly. And we'll see if Richarlison gets his chance. If not, you could have used that 60 million to buy what we actually need. So, that's my thoughts on Heung-min Son.
Somebody asked about Reguilon. Why is he out of favor ahead of what's his name? Sessegnon. Like, what's happened? Because when you signed Reguilon, he was one of the highest rated left backs in European football. Like, what has happened?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know. I mean, Serge Reguilon came in and he started really well. And I think he's definitely more of a left back than he is a left wing back. He's all bark and no bite with him. He's got a good engine, gets up and down the park. But when you need that bit of composure, right? When you need to be able to deliver a ball, when you need that killer pass, he's found wanting. However, listen, I'm going to say this, and again, I do not rate Reguilon and Sessegnon in any way, shape, or form. I think he is so poor as a footballer. The reason I think he's getting games over Reguilon is I think that the homegrown quota at Spurs is close to the lines. And I think we can get some money for Reguilon